Welcome back to the Spotlight. Your boy Chris Chicago, of course, Chris Chicago's Artist Spotlight. Really excited to be chatting with this dude on the phone. He's got to be one of the most interesting artists that I've come across over the last few years. You've seen him on TV. He's all over news thing. Like, I'm just going to let you talk to us about everything that you've done. On the phone on the Spotlight, Harmini. What's up, man?
Man, my life is off the chain. Bro, God is so good.
Every time I turn around, you're on a different news site or a different news channel. You're on this, you're that. What's going on?
Yeah, every time I wake up, I'm on a news channel. It's like I wake up in bed, but I'm on TV. I don't even do. God just he literally has just marked my life to where he keeps putting me in front of the masses, and not just in front of Christian masses. Like, he's been putting me on mainstream news to broadcast my testimony, my music, all of that to a secular crowd. NBC News, ABC News. I went on TBN and Juice TV and CBS News and KSLA News, and my hometown in upstate New York, they caught wind of my music video, If I Go Away, that had been just, going across America. Everybody was just loving it.
Well, let's do this before we get ahead of ourselves. Why don't we pause? And there's people listening right now, like, who the heck is Harmini? Who is this guy? Let's give you the opportunity to new fans, new listeners of the Spotlight. Tell us who Harmini is.
Oh man, definitely, man. Harmini is an American rap artist, multi-talented, who just uses his gifts and his testimony of what God has done for me and brought me through, and I put it into music, real-life stories. If you notice when you listen to my music, they're all about stories. They have real-life testimonies, things that people have gone through, and I push those messages in my music so that other people around the world can relate to that, man, and be able to bump something that's godly, that's positive, that's hot, that's thumping, and be able to benefit from it, as well as, bob their head to the beat in the song as well, man. So, yeah, man, I'm just here to let God use me, man, and as soon as I got saved, it's just been up every year.
Well, talk to us about that. You got saved. Was that a recent thing for you? Did you not grow up in the church? What is your testimony like?
Well, no, I grew up in the projects of Riverview, Elmira, New York.
Okay.
With a single mom and my brother. My brother's dad wasn't there. My dad wasn't there, so my mom was the only one, and she had Tourette syndrome. Many people don't know this unless they really read my testimony, but I actually inherited Tourette syndrome at 10 years old through the medication called Ritalin. They said I was hyper and all this stuff, and so they put me on Ritalin, and all of a sudden I started twitching and tics, and I had involuntary bodily movements. And that just got worse and worse and worse. And I got molested when I was 7 years old in the projects there. And just a lot of stuff happened to me when I was young, man. And it set me on a path to destruction. I started smoking weed at 10 years old, smoking cigarettes. I lost my virginity at 10 years old.
At 10 years old?
10 years old, brother. Yep. And it was bad. Pornography. Just really, 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 really bad, man. And it ended up leading me into a place of incarceration. I was on the ankle bracelet for a year. I was put in respite homes and detention centers, and this thing called Glove House, which is a house that you go to and you can't keep it together. And I ended up going to jail, and then I went to prison, and I was in a BSU unit. I had my stomach pumped over a dozen times on record at the hospital for overdosing on pills and other illegal, substances, drugs. And so I went through all of that before I even hit 21. I was raided by the SWAT team twice for sales and drugs distribution in our first home when I was 15. And then again when I was 17, they kicked in our door at 9 p.m. Came in with fully automatic weapons and a battering ram, just boom, blew open our door. And just, it was just crazy, bro. A lot to experience as a kid. But going through all of that hell and all of that stuff, after I got out of incarceration, my mom died 2 weeks before I got out from lung cancer. Man. At that point, I had nobody. The only person I had was my brother. And if he didn't take me, then I would have went back in the streets, and I wouldn't even be talking to you right now, man. But my brother took me under his wing and gave me an opportunity to pick up the shattered pieces of my life which I did not do right away. For 2 years, I went back to crack, cocaine, all of that. When I got saved, I was using crack, cocaine, weed, mushrooms, meth, alcohol, Oxycontin, and I was smoking about 3 packs of cigarettes a day till I had a real genuine encounter with Christ in 2005, May. And once I had that encounter in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Wait, hold up. You had an encounter in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Surely did.
You know, that's my hometown, man. I grew up in Albuquerque.
What?
I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico. In fact, I left Albuquerque in 2005.
Get out of, bro. I got saved in the Northeast Heights on Comanche and Valencia. There's like San Mateo. San Mateo's like the main road there.
Yeah.
And then you got, Comanche that goes.
Bro, you got saved in my neighborhood.
That's crazy.
I went to middle school on Comanche, just west of San Mateo in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That is so nuts. So what were you doing in Albuquerque?
Well, that's where, when I got out of incarceration, I had lived in Elmira my whole life. All I knew was sex, money, drugs, sell weed. Sex, money, drugs, sell weed. That was literally my life for years and years and years. And so when I had got out of incarceration, my brother took me to live with him because that was my mom's, really, her deathbed wish was for him to please give me a chance. Because nobody liked me, man. I was the most hated kid because I was just evil. I lied, I stole, I just had, all those addictions, and nobody could trust me. It was just real bad, man. But my brother took me in, and he was a pilot. Yeah, and he is still a pilot. And so he was located, his base was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where he was hired at his job.
Oh, so at Kirtland Air Force Base.
Yeah, well, it wasn't an Air Force base. He flew commercial.
Oh, okay.
And so, he was based out there. And so that's where I really got my first.
Now, hold on. Was he much older than you? How did you guys both grow up in the same home, and you turned out to be a crack addict, and he ended up being an airplane pilot?
Really.
What happened there?
Well, we both were just really, really bad, man. He never really drew to the drugs, but he did get in a lot of trouble. Like, oh my gosh, like one time he had like nitroglycerin in his trunk, acting stupid. I mean, He was driving with this stuff. He went over railroad tracks and everything. Like, if he would have hit a bump in the wrong way, the police said that his entire car could have just exploded and blew up like a fourth a block.
God was watching over him. Obviously, there was bigger plans for both of you guys. So you end up in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You end up with your brother. It's circa, 2005?
Yeah, in May 05 is when I got saved. But 2003 is when my mom died and when we went to Albuquerque.
So we were actually in Albuquerque for a couple of years at the same time.
Really?
I was, dude, that's where I got my start on radio. I was on a Christian radio station from the time I was around 16, 17 years old in Albuquerque, New Mexico, until I left in 2005.
That is amazing, bro.
I was a Christian rapper at the time. I was touring all over Albuquerque, New Mexico, Texas, Colorado, Oklahoma. That's crazy that our paths could have crossed during those couple of years that you were in Albuquerque.
I wouldn't even doubt it if they had crossed, bro. Like, because once I got in, because I had gotten saved in New Mexico. I got saved when I was 22, and so that was in 05. Now, if you were there in 05, then there might have been a chance, because after I got saved, I started plugging into as many churches as I could. I started bouncing around and doing all kinds of stuff, man.
Yeah. I left Albuquerque in the summer of 2005. That's crazy. So how did you get saved? Where did you get saved? How did it happen? How did God pluck you out of all this?
Well, I was dating a girl at that time, and she was pregnant, and I was, like I said, I was addicted to 8 drugs, man. I was using those 8 drugs consistently, and she was on drugs really bad too. And so there came this division between me and her, and I just broke down, man. Like, I was in my living room all by myself. My brother was out, to the bar and stuff, and I was in our house by ourselves, and I just started crying, man. I was like telling God straight up. I was like, listen, I hate myself. You know this, right? I was like, I hate myself. I was like, I'm sitting here, my mom's dead. I said, I don't have nobody that I can really confide in. I said, I'm all alone. I said, I've been addicted to drugs for years and years. I feel like I've let my mom down. I've let my grandma down. I have a son on the way, and I don't know how to be no dad, God. I was like, I don't even know what to do with this. And I told him, I said, all the other times that I prayed to you, I said, it was always because I wanted something in return. I know when I was going to go to jail, I prayed and said, if you'd help me get out of, going to jail, that I would turn my life around. But I said, I never did any of that. I never was serious. I just wanted to get out of trouble. And then I told God, I said, but right now, I said, this is the moment when I'm so serious. I'm so serious. It's eating me alive. And I said, if you don't save me and change me, I said, God, and I go to hell, if I burn in hell, I said, this time it's your fault, man. I told him straight like that. I said, God, this time it's your fault. I said, because right now I'm crying out to you so real right now. I said, I can feel it in my gut. And I said, I need you to save me. I need you to do something for me that's real. I really, really need it, man. I can't do this anymore. I'm going to die. I don't have any hope. And I said, you need to save me. And if I die and I go to hell, I said, it's your fault because I'm serious right now. And it wasn't not even 5 seconds after I said that ending sentence of save me or I'm going to hell and it's your fault, that all of a sudden this, and I mean thick, Chris, I purposely waved my hand back and forth in the air because the presence of God was so thick in the living room. He covered me like a blanket. His presence covered me to where I could feel his presence on my skin. And it was so real and so tangible that I cried harder than I've ever cried in my life because I knew at that moment that the God of the universe was in the living room with me, and he actually heard my prayer and cared enough to come there to see me. And from that moment on, my life began to change forever. In less than 2 months from that very moment, all of the 8 addictions that I had were gone. Things that prison couldn't cure, drug rehabs couldn't cure, and I was in a bunch of those rehabs. BSU units couldn't cure, pills couldn't cure, ADD, ADRC, Alcohol Anonymous, none of those things could cure. But one encounter with God that day changed my life forever.
Wow, so cool.
And, yeah, true that. Yep, and so from there, I hadn't had no job experience. I didn't know how to cook. I never had a job, nothing, man. And so I told God, I said, Lord, the only thing I really know how to do is rap. And I said, if you'll bless what I have, I said, I'll give it to you. I'll write rhymes for you, and I'll stop cussing in my music. And I said, I'll give it to you. And that's exactly what I did. And then before I knew it, my gifts multiplied. And then I began to use acting, and then I began to use modeling, and then he multiplied them again, and then I became an entrepreneur. And I started getting these ideas and these things that I started putting into action, and then I started getting money coming in. And then I met people, and I went from performing and ministering in front of 5 to 15, little kids in a rap group that I joined in 2006 called ONC, which was a bilingual rap group at that time. 2 years I was in that group. And from there I went solo, but I went from performing in front of just a couple kids, and my biggest arena that I've done any performing in was with The Truth 2 years ago, and I think we had like 12,000 people show up to that particular event.
So where are you located now?
Dallas, Texas.
You're in Dallas, Texas, and you're still rapping. The Lord is still using you. You have a song here that we're going to feature called Follow Me. Talk to me about this song.
This song is called Follow Me, man, featuring Young Noah. And the concept of this song that God gave me was, everybody wants to follow whoever's in the spotlight. And I noticed that in my own life. Like, people are always hitting me up. People, they want to follow the celebrity aspect of who an artist is or who a person is, no matter who it is. If it's an artist, if it's a pastor, people get into that stuff where they see their pastor, or they see people in such an awe that they don't really focus on the Christ in them. They focus on the person. And so in this song, when you listen to the hook, it's saying, don't follow me. You don't follow me if all you're looking for is a celebrity. Follow Christ. Follow Christ, because at the end of the day, that's who it's about. And so I don't want people putting me on a pedestal, because I'm human and I can fall. I can make mistakes. I've made plenty as a Christian already, but God's grace has kept me and kept me going. And every time I fall, I get back up. But I want everybody to know that no matter how big I get, no matter how many TV shows or television news, whatever, man, how big God allows me to be for his glory and the testimony that I have for the world, I don't ever want somebody to make me bigger than what I am. because without Christ, I'm nothing. And so if you're going to follow me, that's fine, but follow me only as I follow Christ.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to have to get you back on another edition of the Spotlight because I feel like we could talk for hours, but we'll do this. We'll check out the song Follow Me, then we'll come back and I'll give you final words. It's Harmini, Follow Me on the Spotlight.
Given to me while I was in it, come on. And I ain't kidding about the fathers that wish they could escape just to give the son and daughter a hug and a kiss. And I remember grown men telling me they wish they had another chance to go back so they could get it right. Memories on a crack pipe, high speed chase ass, tried to sell a jackknife. And they said he had a black knife with the same blood stain on a murder victim last night. And now forensic with a black light, they got the evidence that I like I'm a from his whole life. And now we sitting in the pen right with the horror, knowing that I never see another night. Sleeping home in his own bed, and now he's homesick. Night moans and grown men. Just one pen is all he needs to send a letter to his father, but he doesn't care, so why bother? Another phone rings, ring, ring, hello, mom, is that you, son? I can't do this anymore. And other man's left flat on his back in a cell, in a hell where he can't even tell who he is or what he did to end up in a place where he's faced with the hate and the pain of who he is. And his crew, they don't care, what can they do? They don't care, another day, another dollar. And all those words that he remembers, call the cops, I don't care, you think I care? Bet he does now, rotting in a cell. Cause for years he would think he could drink and he smoked and he lived like a fool. Now he lives without his kids and the bars, I was like, nobody writes. You want eternal life to follow me as I follow Christ. I'm reaching for the stars and everybody wanna follow me, but please don't follow me if all you want is a celebrity. Cause I am not the one that everybody should be following. So if you're gonna follow me, then follow me as I follow Christ. I'm reaching for the stars and everybody wanna follow me, but please don't follow me if all you want is a celebrity. Cause I am not the one that everybody should be following. So if you're gonna follow me, then follow me as I follow Christ.
I remember having nothing, I remember very well. I was suffering, I was in a jail cell, hands cuffing, I was in a trap, trying to sell something, you understand? No concern for the son of man, hitting licks just because I can. In a bando, looking like Rambo, you do not want to run up in. Situation getting out of hand, no foundation, ain't nowhere to stand. Ain't no future, ain't no way to plan. My escape from this Neverland, voices in my head, follow me, hollow me, saying that he want all of me, all of me. All I really want is weed and pornography. Maybe you can free me from this hypocrisy, God. How could these lips bless your name? I'm confessing pain. How could I follow you and expect others to do the same? All I know is the darkness of sin and shame. Trade this ball and chain, be cleansed from every stain. That will be a blessing, these are my confessions. Fill me with your spirit, usher in your presence. Father, lead me and I'll lead the adolescent. Cover my transgressions, I'll follow you, no question.
I'm reaching for the stars and everybody wanna follow me, but please don't follow me if all you want is a celebrity. Cause I am not the one that everybody should be following. So if you're gonna follow me, then follow me as I follow. I'm reaching for the stars and everybody wanna follow me, but please don't follow me if all you want is a celebrity. Cause I am not the one that everybody should be following. So if you're gonna follow me, then follow me as I follow Christ.
Song's called Follow Me by Harmini. It's on the Spotlight, and unfortunately we're out of time, so Harmini, I'll give you final words right now.
Hey, man, it's cool, man. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the song, man. I love you guys. God bless you. Praying God's blessings over you guys, man. Feel free to connect with me on my website, www.harminiproductions.com, HARMINI productions.com, and support Chris Chicago and all that he does, man. And we just look forward to seeing God do everything that He's already started in your life. He's faithful to complete the mission. So you guys hold on, man, and we love you guys. Be blessed.